Hello everybody, Realm Builder Guy here, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to a new Crusader Kings 3 Let's Play series. This was actually the series that I had planned on releasing at the beginning of June, but because of the, I would say earlier than planned release of the Azure patch, I had to delay it also because I was gone. But anyway, we're here, we're ready to get going. And I don't know why I'm trying to do this reveal thing here, like, ooh, who am I? You saw the thumbnail and the title, so we all know who I am playing, well, ish, or what the goal is ish that we're doing here. But before I do that, I need to give a shout out to the mod that I'm going to be using. So aside from, you know, the full screen barbershop that I always use, I'm using the TIP Volume 2 mod. So that's the, I'm going to call it the Total Improvement mod. I know that's not technically, or Total Improvement Project mod, but I know that's not technically what that means. It's an insider thing from the modders. But what this does, it adds so much historical accuracy to the game. And I had once previously highlighted this as one of those 5 must-have mods, and I am going to use that on this Let's Play series. Now we're going to start this Let's Play down here in, Northeast Africa, in Kordofan, with Chieftain Gelgel ibn Bolat, who of the House of Kordofan, who is of the Kushite unreformed faith and the Daju culture. Now, as the title and the thumbnail allude to, the goal of this series is to reclaim the Kingdom of Kush. Now, the Kingdom of Kush, for those of you that don't know, and here obviously Kush is represented as a religion, as a faith. The Kingdom of Kush was an ancient kingdom that ruled the Upper Nile region, so really this area here in the Sudan and southern Egypt, for hundreds and thousands of years. They actually, for about a century, were the pharaoh rulers of ancient Egypt until they were driven out by the Assyrians, and then eventually pushed even further south into their original homeland of northern Sudan by the Ptolemaic Greeks and then the Romans. They were eventually then completely taken apart by the Assyrians and by the kingdom of Aksum, who then eventually conquered and destroyed their ancient home, which, let me find it here, is right here in Meroe. So this is the ancient home, and what we can see here also are the pyramids of Meroe. Now this is something that is added through the TIP Volume 2 mod. The pyramids of Meroe, which are also highlighted on the thumbnail for the series, the pyramid complex at Meroe is part of a larger network of Nubian pyramids built by ancient Kushite rulers over a period of several centuries from around 800 BC. Though smaller and less renowned than their Egyptian contemporaries at Giza, the Nubian pyramids are nonetheless as majestic as they are mysterious. The site at Meroe contains 3 royal cemeteries, housing the tombs of some 50 Kushite kings and queens, as well as countless treasures and artifacts. So if we capture this with the county, we'll get a development growth of plus 0.02, control growth of plus 0.2, and then the holders of this holding, piety per powerful vassal on the council, gets plus 0.2 per month. Monthly renown grows by 10%. Short reign duration minus 25%, and clergy opinion plus 10. A little side note, there are actually more pyramids in Sudan than in Egypt. There, I had to step away real quick because I needed to close the window on this warm day as an airplane, of course, was flying above. So, what is the goal here? Now, the goal is to reestablish the Kingdom of Kush in its original homeland, which is right in here. The nice thing is the TIP mod also allows you to create the Kingdom of Kush. It is a formidable kingdom. Now, part of this will be, of course, we must reclaim our ancestral homeland of Meroe. Now, that's going to be difficult because, of course, they are in Makuria. Now, Makuria and Alodia and Naga are former regions of the Kingdom of Kush, which eventually were taken away. And the number one adversary here is actually the House of Gideon of Aksum. So our goal will be, one, to unite all of the Daju people. Now, the Kingdom of Daju did exist historically and was a Sudanese kingdom. Now, for that, we have East Darfur, and we have El Fasher. I think those are the only ones, yes. So these are the Daju people that we will originally try to unite, probably through conquest. On top of that, of course, we will try to get all of this Darfurian land together to create Darfur. Then we can turn our attention to the east and slowly but surely capture the Nubian Coptic realms. Now, we are not Nubian, we are Daju and Kushite, and convert all of these back to the original Kushite religion. Now, there are also other Kushites here in the Beja clan. We have here in Kata, then over here in Masawa, and then actually their culture head of the Beja people is part of Nakis. So our goal will be, first we'll have to take on Alodia, of course. Our goal will also be to conquer and destroy our ancient enemies in Aksum and Abyssinia as well, before we then eventually move north to take on the Azims of Makuria and then conquer Nakis. Now, it would be great if the series could go all the way that we conquer, lower or all of Egypt and the lower Nile and the delta there, and really recreate a kingdom or an empire, Kushite empire of Egypt, of the entire Nile River system. But I don't know how long this series is going to last because, as you know, these kind of long-form Let's Play series don't tend to do well on YouTube. After about episode number 10 to 12, they completely die off in view count, and unfortunately that does matter to a degree. But I'm also going to try to skip through a lot of the stuff that I did in the other Let's Play series that I did, like with Al-Andalus or the Rus, where, you saw every little step along the way, like me going through all the possible marriage options. So instead, I'm just going to look at marriages like I need both Chieftain Gelgel as well as Ibidu, our son, to find a spouse. I'm not going to bore you through that, as well as looking at who we can conquer with what casus belli and so on, what the costs are. I'm going to do all that and then basically cut to the decision, and maybe then explain why I chose to go this way or what the overall costs are, just to kind of speed this along a little bit. Also, in between bits where there's just not a lot happening. Still the same focus on roleplay versus min-max. This is not an official achievement run. This is not Iron Man compatible. Also because I am using the TIP mod, which I don't believe is Iron Man compatible. So the pressure's a little bit less, or it's a little bit less linear than, say, an achievement run campaign. But I still feel like this is an achievement. Uniting the Kush and the Kushite religion, reforming the entire region, creating the Kingdom of Kush, and then maybe taking on, whoever is control of Egypt in the next step. So we'll see how long this series takes. I hope you enjoyed. If you do, and you really want to help the channel, help the series, please hit that like button. I will also, of course, be incorporating the Heroes of the Realm tier patrons and Patreon supporters. If you want to find out how you can support the channel and also possibly at a Hero of the Realm level be included in the game, link to Patreon is down in the description. What I mean by that is, right now all of the supporters are men, and so of course I produce male heirs or male children, specifically heirs. They will be put into the game by naming them that way. So first off, we're going to take a look at the situation here in Kordofan itself. So we have Chieftain Gelgel ibn Bolat of Kordofan. He's 54 years old. His health is fine. He's heterosexual, and he's the head of the Daju people, which is very important. I did want to do that because then we have, of course, the culture head where we can determine the direction we want to go. Now, we've achieved a lot of things, but not everything. And part of that is down to the fact that, of course, the fact that we are tribal, we can't advance into late medieval, high medieval, or early medieval. Everything is here in the tribal period. Now, that being said, we can, of course, go feudal with time. Right now, we are focusing, it looks like, on currency. It'll take 32 years, and this will help our dev growth, which I think is very, very important. What else we have left here is city planning. That would take 433, but it helps us. So first we're going to try to max out everything here. West African canoes we can still do, but everything else we have, except, of course, we can't do any of these. But we're going to go with currency. Next will be city planning, and then might as well do West African canoes because it's fun. So that is that on the culture group. Now, dynasty, of course, we are the dynasty head. If we look at legacies, you know, we still have a long ways to go before we can start working and thinking about anything there. Now, the chieftain Gelgel himself, he is gregarious, so that gives us a diplomacy bonus of +2, attraction opinion +5, personal scheme power +15%, opinion of gregarious characters +10. Gelgel enjoys spending time with other people. He is generous, so acts of benevolence and charity are no strangers to Gelgel. That gives him a diplomacy bonus of +10. +10, wow. No, +3. A monthly income modifier of -10%, and opinion of greedy characters drops down by -15. Temperate, so according to Gelgel, it's best to enjoy things in moderation. So stewardship +2, small boost to health, and +10 to opinion of temperate characters, and opinion of gluttonous characters -10. He's an amateurish plotter, so he gets +2 on intrigue, and monthly lifestyle experience +10%. And he's a schemer, so intrigue +5 and +25% hostile schemes. Now, if we look at the Kushite faith, we have a few holy sites. Now, Al-Fashir is one that we definitely want to capture. Al-Fashir is right here. That's one we need to take. Sennar, Nakis, Wadi el-Malik, and Aswan. These are all also targets for us to take. If we go to the location here, Al-Fashir is one of our neighbors, so we'll try to conquer them. Sennar is all the way over here. So if we scroll out, you can really see this. So you have Sennar here. Nakis is all the way up here, so we need to conquer that. Wadi al-Malik is right here on the way to Meroa, so that helps out. And then Aswan all the way up here. So that's going to be the hardest one, depending on who we have to take. Now, the beliefs, we are ritual suicide, of course, is a key component. Esotericism is another one, and ancestor worship. The sins are lazy, impatient, and arrogant. Virtues are diligent, patient, content, and wise man. Doctrines equal. So equality between male and female. We are righteous and theocratic. Marriage doctrines, consorts and concubines are allowed. Always allowed is divorce. Bastardry, no bastards. Bastards can be legitimized. And avunculate marriage is available. As far as crime doctrines, same-sex relations are accepted. Deviancy is accepted. Female adultery is shunned. Male adultery is shunned. Kinslaying close kin is criminal. Witchcraft is accepted. Clerical doctrines are clerical function is control. Clerical gender is either. The clerical appointment is temporal and revocable. And then the clerical marriage is allowed. Head of faith is spiritual and is the Kushite priesthood. Now, we can reform the Kushite faith over time. So this is something I will probably look at doing, just because then we can also have the decision to go feudal. That's very important. If you want to find out more about that, I did make a guide to religion in Crusader Kings 3 where I talk about that a little bit. So, first things first, of course, like always, these will be our guides as to the direction of decisions and what we want to do. Now, we do need to pick a lifestyle. Now, diplomacy is really where he is most adept. I mean, through gregarious and generous, he gets good bonuses there. So we are going to go with the diplomacy lifestyle. Now, which way we can do foreign affairs. So this gives us a bonus to diplomacy, and diplomacy experience goes up. One can never have too many friends. He is gregarious and generous, so this would be a good focus. Majesty flows, regality flows from ritual, tradition, and glory. Diplomacy, prestige growth, that's not really, depending on his characteristics, not a key aspect of his life. And family focus, even if we do not choose them, those closest to us are most important. I would say foreign affairs is the direction we are going to go with Gelgel. Not going to worry about the primary heir, but we need to get married, and the heir needs to get married. We need to add some concubines, so let me take a look at that real quick. So the person I have chosen, now this will hurt our prestige, is Maj. And the reason why I picked Maj is because she is also generous. She is just and she is honest. So I feel like this will help us. She's also a torturer, so that's kind of interesting. So this will be our marriage proposal for our marriage. Now, as far as our player heir, here we're going to look, and again, the key part here that I didn't mention, only Kushites are going to be acceptable for marriage here. Now, for our son, we have picked Gague. Gague, she is just, calm, and diligent, as well as a fortune builder. I feel like that would be a good match for our son. So, now, we can declare wars. Ibido Kordofan can marry. We already went through that. Cannot create the Duchy of Kordofan just yet, just because we're missing the money. But once we have the money, we will, of course, do that. Now, what else can we do? We need to look at where is best to expand to. I'm not going to worry about concubines just yet, but East Darfur is the most likely one to move to. Now, we have 1,000 soldiers. They have 1,300. Now, remember, this is after the Azure patch, so we all already have men-at-arms in our court. Now, we don't have a lot of money, but we have men-at-arms. Now, they are more powerful than us, which is a bit of a tricky proposition, and we are a little bit isolated. How are we looking here? I mean, these guys are easier to conquer, but East Darfur would be harder. Now, when we look at what we could do, we could actually declare war just for this part of Darfur. Now, with the updates, we can see where our men-at-arms are, and who's likely to win the war. I love these updates that they made to the actual game now. And of course, this clearly shows it would not be a smart choice at this time. If we look at our military, you can see here we've got 200 light footmen, we've got 100 Sahel horsemen, and 1 regiment of onagers. Now we can create men-at-arms, we can raise all men-at-arms, we can raise all his raiders, and raise all armies. Now we could go around and try to raid our neighbor first, and weaken them that way. That is one possible strategy. Now we do need to look and see if we can add some type of an alliance. So alliances are not looking very favorable. We may have to just start out by building up our economy a little bit. Militarily, we can create more men-at-arms. We are at the regiment limit, so we have everything here. We can't create more men-at-arms. What we could do is bump these guys up a little bit. So these cost prestige, not money. Our prestige, we're gaining 0.9 per month. Unraised, this will cost us 0.1. So we're going to increase those guys. And can we increase them 180? That's pretty steep. But I feel like we need to do that. We need to build up our military so that at least we're maybe on equal footing with East Darfur. Now let's take a look at our council. We don't have a spouse just yet. Our court priest, we're good here. Our steward is Pen. Can we change our court priest? We could to our son, but I'm not really willing to do that. Our chancellor is actually quite good, so we will keep that. We don't need to increase our vassal opinion just yet. Our steward. Do we have anybody who's better at stewardship? Not enough that I'd be willing to risk that. We're going to invest in development there. Our marshal. Anybody who's better there? No. So here we are going to train our commanders. And our spy master, who does actually like us. Do we have anybody else that's better? No. So we will continue with disrupt schemes, find secrets, support schemes. Yeah, we're going to disrupt schemes there. Our military, I think we're good right now. Actually, what I did want to look at were our champions. And we could be a little bit better there. If we invite champions, it'll cost us 150 prestige. Yeah, I think it's worth it. We need to build our military. And again, this is killing us in prestige, but you know, it's not great, but it's something we have to do to just build up a little bit. Now we can call a hunt. This will cost us 17. I mean, it'll lose stress, but the thing is, we can rebound some of that prestige. So we're going to do that right off the bat. Some of the decisions we can restore the Kushite priesthood. We need a level of devotion to devout servant and control 3 or more Kushite holy sites. So that's something we will definitely do. Definitely. We can search for a court physician. So let's start our search there. And I am going to hit unpause as we move forward with the marriage proposals. So, Gel, I'll gladly accept your marriage proposal. I will graciously take the hand of your son and heir, Ibadu. Excellent. Of course, here comes our wife, Maj. Also, excellent. Now we can go back to our council, and she can assist our ruler. Oh, court physician. So we can look at Dong. Costs 50. We can't. Both of them failed to impress me. We don't have the money. Okay, so she can help us with court politics. Let's do that first, or manage the domain. Let's have her help manage our domain. All right, hunt the stag. My marshal Boar is the first to see it. The majestic stag is hard to distinguish from its surroundings, but it is observing us through the undergrowth. I lock eyes with the animal, and it is almost as if it can sense my intention, for it suddenly takes off. We ride. We follow the stag on its flight through a ravine, and suddenly Boar's horse loses its footing and sends her to the ground screaming. It is nothing fatal, but the known is twisting in pain. We press on, or Boar must be given time to recover. Well, she needs to recover. Hunt the stag. I know that it is a killing shot before the arrow even finds its target. As the stag stumbles and falls, we drown out its wails with shouts of victory. A good kill. The hunt is drawing to an end. We mount our horses to leave the drylands behind as the servants prepare the stag and other game for the journey back. In spite of our difficulties along the way, the hunt went very well. We return home reinvigorated. Your hunt ends and we gain 150 prestige. So that'll give us a little bit of more time and as we move forward. Because, of course, we are losing prestige. If we take a look at that real quick, of course, we had a death of commander, but what's hurting us is our unraised men-at-arms. So we need to increase our counties. That'll help. We already have a lot of the other bonuses. In the course of a practice duel, Bogurg has been struck. My marshal called for a physician at once, but Borgig has bled out within moments. Tragic loss. So, there you go. That's one way to start things off. But anyway, I think we will end this first kind of Welcome to Kush episode right here. Everybody got married. We chose the direction we're going to go. I kind of explained what we're planning on doing here and had our first few events. So until next time, again, hit that like button. It really helps. And I'm Realm Builder Guy, and I will talk to you soon.